Hey everyone, welcome back to Engelbard. I had plans to do something really cool for the channel for Christmas this year, but unfortunately, those plans fell through thanks to some untimely medical issues. But I wasn't about to let that make me skip this week's video. I would never skip this week's video. Oh, by the way, I may have to skip next week's video, which will be the first time I've skipped a video ever. What? I said I wouldn't skip this week! But to head off any questions. No, it's not the Rona or anything like that. I just have to have something fixed that's going to leave me out of commission for a little while I recover. So no biggie, I'll be back. I may just be a week or two before I'm fully into the swing of things again. Anyway, for this week's video, I figured I'd take a look at some of the gaming tech that's going to launch in 2021, or some of the gaming tech that launched at the end of this stain of a year 2020, but will be more widely available in 2021. So let's jump right into it, shall we? PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S/X. Of course these had to be first. Allow me a personal indulgence and grievance for a moment. My PS4 Pro died a few weeks ago. I had no intention of getting a PS5 in 2020. I was going to wait for the inevitable new revision and price cut. Unfortunately, fate intervened. I wanted to just get a cheap replacement PS4, but come on, it's the year 2020, so of course those don't exist. No, the things cost more now than when they were brand new. So I made the difficult decision to sell a kidney to pay for a PlayStation 5. Yeah, I got in late, so I hit up the old interwebs to try and buy one of the things, and I failed at that several times. Just when it looked like I hawked that kidney for nothing, I managed to snag one that will arrive early in 2021. It just sucks that the PS5 has been so hard to get and that the soulless scalpers have scooped up so many of them. As for the Xbox Series S and X, I'm not much of an Xbox guy myself, but if Xbox is your thing, that's cool. If you were after a Series S or Series X, I hope you managed to grab one. If you're already in the X ecosystem, honestly it makes perfect sense to stay in there with all your purchases. Anyway, no matter what your system of choice, if you weren't able to find one in 2020, I hope you'll be able to find it in early 2021. And if I didn't mention it before, everyone who is scalping one of these systems, and may they get stuck with excess inventory they can't sell once supply increases early in 2021. The Intellivision Amico. Yeah, I've covered this plenty on the channel already, but here it is again. The Amico is an upcoming new console headed our way from a reinvigorated Intellivision. It's coming in April of 2021, assuming it stays on its date target, and should be available at major retailers. They're taking a different approach with smaller, cheaper games that either have a casual or retro style, and some of them are just flat-out remakes. Yeah, I know, the Amico for some reason inspires a lot of hatred and a lot of love, depending on what side of the fence you're on. But I'm pretty interested to see how this does, and whether or not the public embraces it. Love it or hate it, it's going to be an important 2021 gaming tech release. Yes, I've raised concerns a few times about the Amico, but I still would like to see it do well, especially since it's actually offering something different. Atari VCS. I haven't covered the Atari VCS on the channel before. Why not? Well, like a lot of other people, I wasn't convinced they'd actually deliver a finished product, especially after all the spec and design changes and a few publicized gaffes from the owner of the property. After long delays, it turns out that Atari has shipped devices to some backers of the product as of late December 2020. And the VCS will be more readily available in 2021. So, what's the deal with this thing? Honestly, at $400, it's hard to get excited about it. It's essentially a repackaged x86 computer running on relatively low-end AMD hardware. You can build a comparably powered PC for less money, but it won't look like an old Atari machine or come with that classic Atari-looking joystick. The big appeal right now, aside from the general feeling of nostalgia, seems to be that it includes some Atari 2600 and arcade classics and has its own exclusive store where you can buy more stuff. If you look for reviews and YouTube videos from people with the VCS in their hands right now, it'll become clear that Atari has a lot of things to work out still. And from a software perspective, this just doesn't really seem like a completely finished product. If you're interested in the VCS and either bought one or want one, hey, that's fine. I can see die-hard Atari fans being into the VCS, even though personally, I don't see the appeal of this thing. Anyway, if all goes according to plan, you should be able to buy one in 2021 and see how it turned out for yourself. New single-board computers on new SoCs. Yeah, this one is a little general, but it's just the way I had to phrase it. Because there are new systems on a chip coming from most of the major chip manufacturers in 2021. I'd love to see a bunch of them in both new single-board computers and also powerful new all-in-one handheld systems. In 2021, we can expect to see more powerful ARM chips with more cores and probably slightly better battery life. This means we may see a bit of a jump in emulation performance of more complex hardware. Hopefully it also means we'll see more competition for the Raspberry Pi. Don't get me wrong, I really like both the Raspberry Pi hardware and the Raspberry Pi Foundation itself. They were unquestionably innovators in their field. I think they're great and I want to see them continue to thrive. But I also want to see competing products that offer something different or unique that the Pi can't. I'm pretty surprised, honestly, that hardly any larger companies have really jumped into producing competing ultra-cheap SBCs. So remember a minute ago when I said I wanted to see something different or unique from Pi competitors? Yeah, that's true, but you know what else I want to see? Total ripoffs of RPi's awesome ideas. Show me some Raspberry Pi 400 ripoffs that are even more powerful or have more functionality. If history tells us anything, it's that there are a lot of companies who, if they won't innovate, will at least imitate. So I look forward to seeing the SBC shenanigans of 2021. Maybe an upgraded Nintendo Switch. Let me preface this next section by saying something about Nintendo Switch Pro rumors. I mean, there have been rumors of an upgraded Switch getting ready for release practically since the launch of the original system. Do you know what that means? Well, my friends, that means that one day the rumors will have to be eventually correct, since we all know that Nintendo will release a new system sooner or later. But make no mistake, the rumors about timing have all been completely and utterly wrong up until this point. Look at how many people said one was coming in 2019, and then 2020 for proof of that. Will 2021 be the year Nintendo makes all the people who make up stories on the internet correct? I don't know, and neither does anyone else posting this stuff. We might see a newer edition of the Switch this year, we might not. The way the Switch is still selling right now, it's hard to imagine Nintendo messing with it, but sometimes they do things you don't expect. It's kinda their thing. If we do get a new Switch, here's what I'd personally want to see out of it. First, keep it under $400. Preferably well under. Second, feel free to make it console only and ditch the portable mode. This way, battery life and heat won't have to be a concern. Third, make sure it's fully backward compatible with the original games, and that new games will work on existing Switch hardware, even if they would have to run at a lower resolution or frame rate on older hardware. And then fourth, forget 4K for right now. Just get 1080p 60 working for most new games. Personally, for super fancy graphics, I'll play stuff on a PC or a PS5. Here's some more free advice, Nintendo. Slot the new version of the Switch, whether it's a mid-gen refresh or a full next-gen system, in at the same $300 cost of a normal Switch. Then, reduce that normal Switch's price to around $230 or $240, and drop the light down to about $170. After that, well, we'll just all enjoy playing games on the new Switch Pro or whatever you call it, while all the rumor mongers scrounging for hits and views on the good old internet talk about how your next system is just around the corner for the next 4 years straight. Sounds like a plan, doesn't it? Alright, so there's a look at some things that squeaked in at the end of the year, or coming in 2021, or may come in 2021. One thing is for sure, 2021 is going to be a year for gaming tech unlike any we've experienced in a very long time. We've got 2 brand new platforms that are not even going to start to hit their stride, probably until towards the end of the year. We're going to have a whole new batch of single-board computers and portable systems that are going to come out probably just within a few months into the year. Aside from that, we're going to more fully find out what exactly is going on with things like the Atari VCS and the Intellivision Amico. And that's going to just about do it for this video, my retro gaming friends. If you enjoyed the video, please toss it a like, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe. It would also be super cool if you could help spread the word about the channel. With that, I'll say thanks for watching, and see me later.